Oh, you're gonna try and get on his nerves?
Here we are at Got Game, Plymouth, for the 1K tournament. Dank Lists home. Let's get it. Here we are at Got Game for the 1K tournament. Top table on this very fancy game table. We're coming back here. We got the crew hanging out. We got Dad. And then we got a table here. Got a desert table back here. Got a little bit of jungle. And then we got some foresty and winter back here. Here's the secret back room. Everybody in Dank Lists got their locker. Rob's got the manger and the hanger. JD got his locker. How much stuff can you put in a locker at Got Game, JD?
A lot.
Let's see, how many armies we got in here?
I have 3 currently. I got rid of my zine schemes. I took those home just because it was too much.
Too much Warhammer? Did those words come out of your mouth?
Maybe.
That's not
Well,
allowed.
just for space because I didn't want to break anything.
Alright, what about up here? What do we got in here, Rob?
Just the pretties.
Ooh, we got some big mechs and some orcs. What about in the hangar? Some corn demons. Some good stuff.
Yeah.
Taylor, you're not 3-color standard yet?
I am. Look, there's 3. Look at it.
Are you sure?
There's
Yes.
like 4 in there.
Why
5.
are you touching up then? You only got less than an hour to get that standard.
Because they're ugly.
Ooh,
They're ugly.
it's kind of a harsh assessment. It's a nice clean white.
It is.
There's a lot of swipes of other
She's
colors
particular.
on the white.
Oh,
is
very
what it is.
particular?
I think,
She's
I
very
think she's just particular.
Very
I am
particular. Very particular. Well, look at the guy she married. He's very particular. Or is the word
I think they
peculiar?
look great, but she's the one who's
I'm critical of myself.
she's super critical.
Alright everyone, welcome to Warhammer 40,000 1,000 point tournament 3-color painting standard. Now, if you have been in one of our previous tournaments here at Got Game, the rules are pretty much what they were last year. There are some slight changes though, just for the purposes of scoring. One of the things to point out, this is a 2-hour round. We will be doing 3 rounds total. In that 2-hour round, if there is less than 10 minutes remaining at the end of this round, do not go to another battle round. So that is to say, you play a turn, your opponent plays a turn, so on and so forth. But if we get to the point where that timer there on the television says 10 minutes or less, do not go to another battle round. Just finish that battle round and then the round is over. Another thing to point out, in the event of a player being tabled, the other player continues to play the game. They will continue to do their turns until the time is up. So that is important for things like scoring objectives and stuff like that. Being tabled doesn't mean you lose. If you were having a really great game but you just run out of minis, there's a chance you still win this game. So hang in there. It'll be great. Now, on every table, you will see a printout that features the missions for this tournament. The missions were custom designed by Bailey. Our first mission for the first round is called Burn Them Out. It is kind of similar to Scorched Earth from Age of Sigmar, where you can seize objectives as well as potentially burn them for additional victory points, but the entire description of the mission is featured printed out on the table. It has its own deployment. You don't roll for that, other than the normal rolling of like who deploys first, that kind of thing. But everything on the map is already set up and good to go. You just got to read this and understand how you win. Now, when it comes to pairings, for round 1, we have Charles and Blake, Jacob and Samo, Bailey and Austin, JD and I, and then Ben is our bye, and he will be playing against Rob for the first round. Do we have...
Austin, what happened?
I don't know. It's been a minute.
I have 2 different.
No, I don't know.
18 weapons.
Bailey outmaneuvered me. Well, pulled me into his traps properly, and Yeah, that's pretty
I don't
much
want to
it.
say too much because
Traps. I'm not that clever.
Oh, you're clever.
I'm like,
You
all right.
just talk it down.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, that was a good game.
No, it was fun. I miss playing you all the time.
Right.
We need more Eldar players that
For the shots.
I know.
like you. It's rough, and I like it that way.
You know, it's hard being the greatest race.
Fail.
It's very difficult.
Boxcar. Fail. I won barely. I tabled him turn 5. So played Death Watch. Death Watch purged the Xenos, and then I tried to score any and all objectives that I could at that point. Because first couple turns were him just throwing the Horde. And I actually got to stem the green tide off on him, which was just fantastic.
He finally got to use that stratagem. He's been wanting to use it like for months, and so finally he gets an orc matchup where I'm just running 120 boys. Like it's a simple list, but if it's not fun, I don't know what is. So he finally got to use that stratagem.
I was down 15-12 before 5, and I got to the objectives and capped them, and then we went to turn 6, so that put me over the 15 that I needed to beat him, so that won me the game. I got Line Breaker, obviously Slay the Warlord, First Blood. He almost had First Blood against my Intercessor unit, but I saved one save.
One freaking wound.
And then from there, it was just falling back on the back foot, and then clearing the front waves, and then going forward, which is a lot harder than you think against 120 boys.
I think this just continues the trend of like when you're running a lot of infantry, especially a lot of melee-centric infantry, if you can't make charge rolls, it's a completely different game.
Yeah.
And so like turn 1, when I got that 9-inch charge off from a jumping squad of boys, like those intercessors crumbled. But then later turns when I'm trying to get a charge off against...
You failed, what, two
I
charges?
think I failed like 2 key charges that really would have changed.
Yeah, at the turn 4, when he was down to his like a little squad of dudes, this weird boy and this war boss, he'd have jumped in my back line by my Watchmaster, and if he would have made his charge, that would have been significantly different. But he failed it, and then the Watchmaster turned and then proceeded to just nuke him. So, because apparently I just found out they don't have involts for their HQs.
They're just guys.
So yeah, other than that, it felt pretty good. It was very scary, especially on a 4x4, because orcs can literally get across the table. It doesn't matter where you're at.
Part of the reason why I run an army like this is when you win, you know you've earned it.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, it was a pretty good game. I wouldn't mind playing it again, but not in the tournament setting. It's very, very stressful.
Right. My hope is for the Codex, I mean, we get the orc equivalent of Tide of Traders or something similar, just so I can throw even more mobs.
Yeah, if they get a Tide of Traders, it's going to be disgusting. I know with the spoiled Daka, their chapter, or their ability across the board for their infantry, I'm assuming, and whatever, that's already going to be insane. Because just the sheer amount of dice they're already throwing is just going to be ridiculous. I probably should, once that Codex drops, you're going to see a lot more competitive orcs playing. Other than that, yeah, it was a good game.
It was very learning experience. It was always believed that if you do something and it's just everything is just lightly handed to you, then you're not going to learn anything. If you do something and you get your ass kicked by it, then you're going to learn a little better. And I did learn a lot. So moving on, I think I'm going to be a little more confident in what this army and what I can do.
Awesome.
I did not expect my Custodes to do as strongly as it did. They kind of held the line and took out everything that came to it. So for an elite army, Custodes are the way to go.
Yeah.
I had 4, 5, 6, 8 models on the board, and I pretty much tabled them.
Yeah, I got close to killing one thing, but he finished me off last second before I could finish the job. But it was a good game. Like I said, I learned a bunch. Still learning, so apologize for the next round. But I did the best I could, and that's all I can say. I had fun, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, you're right. That's all that matters. Well, thank you
All right, these are...
for accepting the interview, and I hope you do well in your next round.
Good game. That was awkward.
So what happened back here, boys?
Autarchs win the day yet again.
Oh no.
That-
You got Eldard?
It was just the
The Banshee masks.
Yeah.
won it, like,
Oh,
hands down.
so
yeah.
even though I have Overwatch on 5s and 6s, I can't Overwatch.
Oh no.
Other than that, he was pretty difficult to get away. That's why I scored 7, he scored 3. It was a very low points game.
Oh wow.
Just because he tied me down with everything all at once, and it made my guys very immobile. Also, we only got to the end of round 3, so.
Really? After 2 hours? Dang.
Yeah. A lot of shooting and trying to decide what it is because one wrong move put the other one at an advantage. So.
Right.
It was a back and forth game the entire way.
That's good.
Yeah, I got lucky enough to take out his ghost kill in turn 1.
Now before it absolutely obliterated
A
Venom in Overwatch.
Oh man, that's pretty good.
But other than that, yeah, that was. Other than that, that was a very difficult game. It was well fought, and yeah, it was good time.
Awesome. Patrick, what's that in your hands?
Nothing.
Oh, that looks like a new Lord of the Rings army book.
It is.
Is it better than having to have an individual codex for everyone?
Isn't it great that everything is unified into one?
Yeah, Samo, what do you think? Isn't that your stack just to run your army? That stack, and you could just have one book? Let's get it together, 40K. Let's get it together. All right, JD, how'd it go?
Slugfest.
Yeah? There's not a lot left on that board.
Yeah, the game ended here. Got Rippers in my deployment zone, so they got Line Breaker. 2 Fexes in my flyer. That's it. I got the objective here, so I held that for 3 turns, which racked up enough points to get ahead of you. So
Why don't you tell...
in the end, so I won that game, but just because the way the rules were, I didn't get. I got tabled, but I didn't lose the round because of it.
I was going to say, that's something the folks back home might want to know. They're like, there's a flyer, so how did you win? It's because we put rules in that if you got tabled, you can still win even if you were
I
tabled.
technically got tabled, but since I was weighing up enough points, I still won the match because I was up on points.
Did you like that?
Yeah, it's so much better that way. Instead of just, oh, I got tabled because I only have a flyer left, and then I lose the game.
Right. Because technically you're still on the board, it's just...
Yeah. Although
technically you're not.
Objectives, that's fine. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
His Fexes did a lot of work there. They murdered 90% of my guys. I kind of cheesed them a little bit with Death Watch tactic there, sniping him with an rope right away. Took a lot of his pushing power with it.
I painted these.
I didn't get to the other Nernthrope in time, so he smited my frag cannons, so that hurt a lot.
Yeah. I was happy about that.
Other than that, it was just slugfest. And rolls were terrible on both sides.
Yeah, I felt pretty salty at the beginning, but then I saw what happened to you and I went, wow, I thought my life sucked.
Yeah, it was...
JD's is sucking just as much.
Really bad. But luckily I got enough to where I could camp that and you couldn't get it from me. Because the suckage was on both sides to hit and wound. But everyone was saving, but still, those Fexes do work. They are disgusting.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this list. I've been playing it for like 9 months, so I'm glad I finally got to use it for the tournament it was used for, and placed a little higher than the last couple tournaments I've played here at the store.
I am actually delightfully...
Hopefully. I don't know yet.
Yeah, I'm delightfully surprised with the Corvus Black Star. Just because it's such a dump in points, but being able to ferry my frag cannons up in their face and then just popping them on and going, surprise, eat it, you know, most of these infantry boys, like in round 1 I was playing orcs, I just murdered 120 orc boys in the first 3 turns, just because of frag cannons and stormbolters. It does work. It's amazing. Other than that, the worst unit probably, although it's needed, is the Watchmaster. Because he only does really is just sit there and give the rerolls, which, you know, for the points, I'll take it any and every day. Best units, probably my 10-man Stormbolter, 8 chain swords, 2 storm shields. Basically every game I deep struck them. Just dropping those in just to be able to protect in turn 1 against the shooting, and then dropping them in and just murdering 90% of whatever you're shooting at, just because of the special issue ammunition, especially against Xenos armies. Because I played against 2 this tournament, Orcs and now Nids. I did a lot of damage. The damage that I do put out, once I start losing guys, it just drops precipitously. So by the time we got to turn 4 or 5, I was like hitting with the soft punch instead of that haymaker that I was giving turn 1 and turn 2. Other than that, it's pretty solid. I like it. It was good match. You want to talk about the match at all?
No, I'm good. You got it pretty much covered.
I like the general setup of our maps that we were doing. 2 line of sight blocking and corners, but you can't really abuse it. And then just general terrain that you can get cover in.
And most importantly for me, I'd say deny charges, because there were a lot of extra charges I could have gotten off, but because my base couldn't fit through the gaps, I was like, well, I don't want to start an argument, so I'll just not push the envelope.
That did benefit a lot, because I took this area and I clogged it up with boys, and he couldn't charge in because he had to come around or up.
Yeah, I couldn't go through any of the gaps, so
it didn't
yeah,
pay
I was
off.
troubled.
But other than that, yeah, it was a really good game. Other than the dice sucking, but that's Warhammer for you. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, good game. You won it. You won it all, baby. Now, what's up, Charles?
Oh, nothing much. Just played against Jacob.
How'd that go?
Had a fantastic game. He was playing Blood Angels, and I found out they're a lot more choppy than I thought they were.
Yeah, they're real choppy.
Yeah. So turn 1, he actually got turn 1, and he brought his guys within an inch of my dune crawlers. Shot a whole bunch of basically inferno pistols into them. Got them both down to about 3 life from 11. Charged in, killed one of them. I made it explode, and ended up killing the other dune crawler with the explosion. Only took out, I think, one of his boys. So he got points for both of them.
Oh man.
And then killed a few of my Skitarii in the process. Proceeded to kill those with my robots on my turn, and then killed most of his army. He was down to 1 model on the table. And then he deep struck everything in and proceeded to just wipe through my army until it was basically down to, I think, turn 5. I had 5 models on the table and he had 3 models on the table, and I was lucky enough to pull out the win. I think what won it for me, honestly, was just holding the objective most of the rounds and just hanging in there with decent rolls. I feel like I was basically 1 good roll on his side away from losing at all times, so it was a fantastic game.
That's good. That's how you want to have it.
It was definitely a great game. So,
Awesome.
Kudos to
I'm glad you had a great time. Yeah, and kudos to Jacob, because he's been having a hard time at this level with his Blood Angels, but he's been having a good time. He's been a good sport about it, so I'm glad to see that.
He played an amazing game. I mean, as I said, I felt like if he would have even changed 1-1 to a 6, I would have lost. So it was awesome.
Nope. All right, what happened?
I got my stuff pushed in. It was a chocolate factory. Full of orcs.
Okay, so
And handmaids.
the particular mission we were playing, you get power level equivalent to, or you get victory points equivalent to the power level of the unit that's holding the central objective. The full blob of orc boys is worth 13 power level.
And there's 30 of them.
And there's 30 of them. But then, if you manage to kill a unit, you will also get victory points equivalent to the power level of what you just slain. However, Mob Up allows orcs, when they're on the brink of death, to just add themselves to a larger squad of boys.
No.
So guess how many times that happened? Every turn. I couldn't take out a squad of 30 and then a squad of 36, even though each time I got them down to 5 or 6. So technically each time I did better each time.
You did do better every time.
Yeah, but
Missed it by that much every
I
time.
never killed them. I did kill your war boss.
You did.
Yeah,
Slay the warlord.
His green matter is, thrown there's a big splat over here. Where Celestine just went splat.
Yeah, Celestine gave up on the whole winning the game thing and just
Yeah.
went over to kill the war boss.
Yeah, I wanted to leave the game with at least 1 point.
You got 6 from that one.
I got 6 from the one, because that was also
'Cause it was-
first blood.
It was first
Turn
blood
3.
and slay the warlord.
Turn 3, first blood happened.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is a story. That's
That
a
was-
story
That
worthy.
was interesting.
That was a great game.
We'll duke it out.
Oh boy.
Oh, it sounds like you guys had fun. That's
It
what
was-
it's all
yeah.
about. That's what it's all about.
It was fun. Didn't stand a chance, but it was fun. Yeah, the final score was 6-6 D6.
Yikes. 6d6? That's not that bad. So that means he could still roll a 6 and it'd be tied.
Yeah, well, something like that.
All right, well, first of all, thank you very much for coming out. It's been a great tournament. I think we've had a lot of fun. We've said this in the past. Bailey and I think, have repeated this chorus over and over throughout the year, but I think this is, without a doubt, like one of the greatest gaming groups that we've ever experienced, ever. And just the amount of community support that we can get for a game like this. I mean, when we all came to this game store, I mean, it was Austin and Ethan and me and Bailey, and then it's like trickling and trickling, and then eventually it just becomes a flood of people that just all want to hang out and play cool games. And for that, like, give yourselves a hand. 'Cause that was so we've got a best 3 for the tournament position, and then after that we've got 2 awards to give out just on voted position from the player. So I will officially click End Tournament on Best Coast Pairings, and we will look at what our final results are. I don't even know what they are either. So once things load, you will be able to spoil yourselves if you look at the phone, but you could also just wait for the computations to finish. Tournament results. Okay, in 3rd place, I was like, we got all this drum roll just for me to go. That's me.
Well done.
So, yeah, okay, it'll be awesome. Okay, in 2nd place. That's not me this time, okay? Bailey Combs.
Get up there.
I'm videotaping.
Give it to you later.
It's on a tripod.
And then, our winner. Drum roll, please. For the 2nd year in a row, J.E. Isn't he lovely?
Tim.
If it even fits on my head.
Too much hair.
There you go.
Oh,
Yeah, let's get the hand. And those Death Watcher mean. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Oh.
All right, so we have 2 more awards to give out this evening. This award goes to a person that we pretty much majority voted best opponent, right? I mean,
4.
yeah.
Like over half the field. Yeah.
So this player just shows grace in victory, grace in defeat. It can be down to the wire with this player. It could also just be completely one-sided against this player, and he is still showing the exact same quality of sportsmanship, the exact same drive, and the exact same ability of knowing his rules, and then knowing as well when the game is over and having a good feel just for how to enjoy the game. So we would like to award a best opponent certificate to Jacob. Sweet.
Congratulations.
And then for best painted, basically in this person's ability to crank out this army under a deadline. And to impress us with their ability to learn things quickly and to acquire a mastery that usually takes many years. We would like to award Best Painted to Taylor for her painting of Charles's army. When it came to certificate, we were just going to have you hold the mini, and then we give you money. So there's not really a certificate, but I can make you one if you actually want like a proper.
Grab some minis, man.
Like just grab some minis. You're like, oh.
Just don't throw them, Charles.
I think bigger is better for this.
Bigger is better. Plus, they're not in a box.
Yeah.